A coach already. He's now a brother. He's now family. So my name, obviously, my last name is Jayola and doesn't relate to anything Asuko.
All right. So it's been a great journey as a coach, and nothing excites me more than seeing the success of my coaching skills coming to fruition. Over the past weekend, I was away in San Antonio to celebrate Dr. Joseph. I am so proud of him. We've come a long way. Well, just before I will let him share the story by himself, because he was with me on Daddy Freeze a couple of days ago. But I just want to say that I build people. I don't just coach to make money. I build people, and he's just one of those people I have built. If you watch my last video or my live, the last live with Daddy Freeze, you will see I brought in 3 of my mentees that I've invested in them in the last 5 years. There are so many of them around the world that I have invested in. But Joseph is so special because he adopted me as a brother. He's the only child of his parents. And just like you will hear him explain, he met me on LinkedIn. I used to be very active on LinkedIn back in the day, where I used to share different posts by the day, and it was during COVID. Everyone were home, and yes, I was coaching for free then. I was still testing my coaching models, so I wasn't charging. So he was one of those that I coached for free. When he came into the US in 2020, I think 2021, and he came to my house in Connecticut for the first time. You can see from the video where we hang out. The girls, my daughters, they love him so much. He became part of the family, and ever since then we've been coming as a family. He comes visiting, and because there are several expectations, and I set up a roadmap for him to be where he is today. So it was more of a strategic plan that he needed to follow through. I do the same with a lot of my mentees, but many of them could not sustain the relationship. Many of them were becoming nuisance, so I had to give them a break. But Joseph has been so consistent, and there's another one too who is in Canada who Joseph introduced to me. That's Sheung. Sheung too has been so consistent, amazing young man. I'm hopeful that I'm going to see him one day because I haven't seen him yet. So Joseph has been a great resource as well. He hasn't just been a mentee, but he has become a resource. Sometimes I just call him up to brainstorm on 1 or 2 projects that I am into, and I can't always appreciate him enough because he is very resourceful. It will interest you to know that this trip I went to San Antonio, he sponsored it. He sponsored me and my wife. Oh my gosh. He couldn't even let me be. He was bent on, Fred, I'm sponsoring this. I was like, okay, dokie dokie, let's do it. Here am I jumping on the plane, and I was on the way to San Antonio. I just want to say a very big thank you to him. And one of those times you will see in the photos, he was in my home. We went to the White House together. We had fun. He's been a great young professional. My family loves him so much. I wish all my mentees are like this, but unfortunately they all cannot be like this. There is a special connection between myself and Joseph, and it's quite amazing. I respect him so much. My family loves him, and we are now family because while in San Antonio I connected with him. Right. So I was in San Antonio. It was quite amazing because I had an opportunity to connect with his family. It was so amazing. His grandfather, his father, and his mother. So myself and my wife, we kind of bonded together as a family. So it was quite a beautiful thing. So I am sharing with you while you listen to him. Dr. Joseph, done and dusted. Next level, money, 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 money. See my boy. He's not my boy. He's not his Dr. Joseph Naman. He shares the journey thus far with me, and then you can watch some of the photos while I flip them through, and I'm sure you will be really inspired. All right, so for many of you that have reached out to me asking me to coach you on one or two things, well, I don't have all the time to invest coaching anybody for free anymore because I have a lot of clients around the world, and I can't promise you that I will be able to meet up like I did with Joseph. It's a process. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours to invest. Like when I was working with him on the EB1, EB2 for his green card, it was a lot of brainstorming, a lot of thinking, a lot of writing, a lot of editing. Oh well. Right now, if I need to coach anyone, you gotta pay for my time. Yes, now I'm a professional. I have a lot of them to show forth and to project to you that this is what I do. Aside training you to learn a tech role, which he's a business analyst right now. Courtesy myself, I walked it through. And aside being a PhD holder, but he's in the business analysis space doing his thing. And I'm excited about that. So if you come my way, the chances that you're going to land in a tech role, either as a business analyst, a product manager, a product owner, or a data analyst, either of those, you can be sure that if you are open to any opportunity thrown at you, you will definitely land any of those. So once again, thank you. Thank you for the journey thus far. If you need to join any of my classes, I will always put the link below this video so you can join any of my classes or reach out to me to be my client or my mentee. Absolutely. See you all at the top because the bottom is crowded. Enjoy.
Please, thank you, Coach Fred.
Go
Fred
call me Coach Fred.
has he's more than a coach already. He's now a brother. He's now family. So my name, obviously, my last name is Jayola and doesn't relate to anything Asuko. The only thing that probably I'm related to Fred was the fact that I went to serve in Ikorodu. That was where I was posted to for my NYC. That was during the COVID period,
I
and just
also
like you
served in
one day,
Ikorodu.
Are
yeah,
you for
in
real?
that camp,
Yes, now
yeah,
2001,
that they just have a lot of road in
2001
that
into
place.
2002.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wilfred,
mine
did you
was in
serve in Ikorodu
20.
too?
No, I'm from Akwa Ibom. Remember?
Yeah,
I started
Ikorodu
in
is. I
Yeah,
remember then. Aye, very beautiful
bush
place, plenty
yeah,
food.
meat. Daddy Free tell us you chop bush meat, right?
I chop bush meat. I chop vulture.
I
They get plenty vulture there. You
thanks
don't chop
thanks for telling
vulture
us.
before?
No, I haven't eaten vulture.
They
I've
get
only eaten
plenty
dog.
vulture there.
Dog. I chop dog and cat.
Baba,
404.
Akwa Ibom people be like Chinese. They
Daddy Free.
eat
yeah.
Go,
everything that
bro.
moves except tables and everything that fly except aeroplane. Everything else they chop up. Be
Oh,
like Chinese, not in the way Chinese people know they chop.
I know. Even
So how
prof.
was your surgeon? Now tell us your story, Doctor
Yeah. So,
Joseph.
yeah, so it was the peak of the pandemic, and probably everybody was clueless on what to do. But I was just trolling the streets of LinkedIn. One of the things I noticed was that Fred was always consistent posting, and I just decided to try my luck that day to reach out to him, hoping that he was going to not respond or not say no. From one or two conversation, he called me directly. And I'm like, who calls somebody directly all the way from America? I was still like, oh, let's talk on WhatsApp. I was like, forget WhatsApp. We'll talk directly. We spoke. And it was just quite, I was very excited, and he asked me a few questions what I wanted, based on what he said about the whole scholarship thing. And one thing about Fred from the first conversation is he wants you to be upfront. And I just say, okay, this is the real thing. This country, no direction of where it's going to. And next thing here and there, Fred kind of, started guiding me on what to do. On my hand also, I did not ghost him. So he didn't ask me to do something and I came back after 3 or 2 months. So we started preparing the essays. I applied for Education USA. Those people, it was also Fred that told me about the opportunity. I applied for it. I was doing the interview. I still came back to meet Fred and said, oh, they've selected me. I need to do interview for those folks. And he also prepped me and all of those kind of thing. And from writing the exams, those people were like, well, they could not pay for some things. I still reached out to Fred. He paid for my TOEFL exams, and I'm sure he probably, I was probably wanted to raise money for flight tickets because my parents could not have done all of those things from me. My dad is probably stopped working while I was in primary school. My mom, has been trying to get out everything, and I don't have siblings, so I just had to focus on myself because I know that it is my decision that's probably going to move my family from the socioeconomic status that we are to the socioeconomic status that I want to be. And Fred was just for me like that kind of God sent, and it was very passionate. And that's something I've found that. So during the peak of that pandemic, if you would remember, there was a lot of people who were like in quotes, coach or mentor. So they would post out information, but a lot of them were focused about money. And there are people right now that they would even market to you, come and let me be your mentor, but eventually you would see that they just want to use your head. And Fred wasn't that kind of person. And time is just a true test of things,
Hmm.
from all of the processes of the admission to my visa interview. Immediately I got my visa, Fred started to tell me things I needed to do. One thing about Fred is you will not even rest for one celebration. Fred is already telling you, "Oh, yeah, this is the next step you need to do." So there's no sleeping, there's no point, you cannot slack. So after like he was saying 6 figure, I'm like, what is 6 figure? Let me first of all even enter this America, right? And he was saying, you need to get the green card, start working on the whole process. And from the day one, Fred guy gave me the guide of all the things I needed to do, the document I needed to read. One thing also about Fred is if Fred needs to connect you with somebody, Fred is like the Google of information or resources. He's going to connect you with the right persons. Some people, if they don't have 100% information about something, they know 70%. And
Thank
Fred
you.
knows somebody that can add the 30%. Fred is going to connect you with that
Hmm.
person. So that's something. And he's not like afraid of if you connect to somebody, you will not talk to him again. That is your own problem. So there are a lot of people that Fred has connected with people and they've not gotten back to him. But I did not do that. And getting
Hmm.
here, one of the things Fred did, I don't know, for some people that don't understand, there's something we call phone plan in America or phone bill. So that phone bill is not like Nigeria that if you do not buy your card or Glo or MTN, you can keep using it. In America, either you call anybody or not, you have to keep paying subscription to be active. So
Hmm.
one of the things Fred did, Fred added me to his family phone plan. So since I've been in this America for like 4 years, it's just for the first month I got it that I paid for the phone bill. So I do when people say phone bill, I'm like, what is phone bill? I've forgotten that automatically, and the plan I am on is the plan is on unlimited. So I'm all to say that it wasn't that Fred was saying, oh yeah, now let me go and reap my harvest, be paying me 1,000, 5,000. So and regularly it wasn't just even the scholarship, other life decisions, I would ask him that other things that could have even affected, the education, other things that will not allow you to, be focused on the school, relationship, different things. So he's one person that is all rounded. So, some people can be very good with maybe just getting you a tech job and they will know about life approach, right? But Fred knows almost everything about all you need to succeed. And this is not
Somebody
even trying to
just
market
sent
for
me a message. Daddy
Mm.
Freeze, please tell Fred that I've not eaten this night. He should please send me some money. I'm like, look at the food. Somebody is telling you a story of how he went from Ikorodu to America. You now food they hungry
Eh,
you.
oh, that's what he wants.
Pepper
That's
soup they
good.
here. Control. Please continue,
Yeah,
Jare, my brother.
yeah,
As in even
yeah.
me,
So
I did
yeah,
motivated.
yeah. And every year, the first year I got here, I went to Fred's house. That was the first time I was going to see Fred since 2019 that we met. I saw him first time live and direct, flesh and blood, in December 2021. And his wife is also very amazing. They hosted me. I had the best of my life. I had the best time when I was with them, had amazing time with the girls. And ever since he has been, like I said, so Fred is not just this, okay, now maybe you come to him for A, Fred is going to tell you that, oh, you have a potential to get to Z.
Hmm.
So he would think beyond the current situation or the current circumstance. And what people used to say is follow who no road. So a lot of
Hmm.
people would just, do anything and just guess. So life is too short for you to be doing trial and error. So why not just, reach out to somebody, follow somebody that's gone through this process. And one thing about Fred also is that he has paid his dues. He has paid for a lot of courses. Even the things that he has paid for $1,000, $5,000, he's going to give you those resources for you to use. And he has also made his own mistake and make sure you do not make that
Hmm.
mistake. So that's something. Some people, especially most of like our Africans, we will say because I suffered, somebody else must suffer.
Hmm.
Fred probably spoke about some of the things he did when he first came here, and I did not have to go through that part because I had somebody that guided me. So what I would have achieved in 5, 10, 20 years, I achieved in less than 4 years. Not because it's just because I was book smart, but it was because I had information, people
You
that
had
was Fred who was
mentorship.
exactly that was guiding me every now and then. And I kept up that relationship. And that's I want to put it out there for anybody that wants to, benefit whatever the age group you are. Fred has helped the young, old, the middle age. Is that make sure you do what Fred asks you to do.
Hmm.
So one thing is there are a lot of things that initially when Fred say I should go do them, I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
But I'm not going to start arguing with him that, oh, this does not make sense. I'm going to first of all go back and think. I'll come back and meet him again and ask him more questions. Curiosity, right? I will also do some research. Even though sometimes it does not make sense, but I will think about the fact that this person, at least, he has guided me from Ikorodu to San Antonio, Texas, to different things, different things. So, and I know he has a genuine interest in me. So he was not going to lead me astray, right? So, and before I know it, I'll follow that stuff and it's going to bring a very great result. So if you don't know something and somebody is guiding you and you are still arguing, is that not foolishness?
Hmm.
So one thing for anybody to be able to get the result they want is to first of all get the right persons and also follow that person. So because you don't know it, right? So if you don't know it, then that's why you need help.
Hmm.
And also being here, you know, one of the things I also did was, I also connected Fred with like my other friends. So, with Sheun, with different persons. There were also different persons I also connected with Fred, but some of them were not able to keep up the relationship. So right now, it kind of makes sense that there is some sort of value that Fred is already putting into his service because first of all, he cannot help everybody in the world. There's no matter. It's only God that can help everybody in the world,
100%.
right? So exactly. So for him to do what he wants to do based on his time, people have to also be able to make some form of commitment. In fact, I would say anything you are going to pay is like an investment fee, and this one is a sure bet investment. It's
Hmm.
like if you put 1%, you are going to gain 1,000%, and it's not by magic; it's by process. So, Fred, will first of all, have conversation with you, clarity call. What do you want to do? This is the plan to get from point A to point B. Go do these things. Bring it back. I will review it and all like that. So I knew also when when Yewande started, I knew when Fred would talk about Yewande, and I was amazed about the things she had done. And one of the things also is we also have a community that everybody is helping each other. So Fred is not just the one helping, you know, everybody, right? So last past week, Yewande still helped me do something. So you would literally have a community of people who are smart, who are focused, goal oriented, and you also be able to network. Either you are in Nigeria, you are in Somalia, you're in any part of the world. So that's something that Fred also offers, and is more about that. So the world is changing, the world is getting better, the world is growing. You don't want to be left behind. A lot of times, as Africans, we have this level of skepticism, especially when we meet people online. We are like, oh, how am I sure this risk I want to take? Am I going to get a reward? So the greater the risk, the greater the reward. So people who cannot, take calculated risks. I'm not saying you should go online and, go put your money somewhere else, right? Somebody who has proven track
Avoid
record
all
over
those
the years.
40% investments.
Mm.
Fred, don't talk, I'm tired.
Yeah, so proving track record, you know, that's something that is somebody that you want to guide and you want to follow. So when you try to reach out to Fred, be straight, be upfront. Don't talk to somebody as though you say hi. What does hi means? Hello.
Hmm.
What do you want? So those are the kind of things. That's one of the things I learned about America. And one thing I would like to say is that a lot of people in Africa, we might think the problem in Africa is so much. You won't know how much of problem you have until you actually leave that country. So there's a lot of dysfunctionality the country has given you that you think is normal not to have electricity. You think it's normal to be saying there's no food. You think it's normal to some things like you think is a privilege until you leave, and it will condition your thinking. So even condition your interpersonal relationship. A lot of Africans, we have so many entitlement mindset, but if you live abroad, you understand that anything anybody does for you is a privilege. So not just even yourself, the fact that you'd also even change your generation, right? You're probably your children who have a better lived experience is also something that you should think about and say, look, let me do this for myself and also do this for my family. So if anybody's doubting, anybody's thinking anything, this is the right time to make that decision. And like they say, a trial would do really convince you. I don't want to say too much, but
Yeah.
people can ask follow-up questions. I'll
Now,
hand it over to
Before
Fred.
you go, guys, please, I'm going to remove everybody on the comment section. You guys are getting very rude and arguing with
no,
each
no,
other. Please, I
leave the com- that please leave the comments. We have gone past the comments.
okay.
We have gone past the comments.
If you are comfortable with it, before you say anything, Wilfred, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why? What is the drive? What is the motive behind you? Because you literally changed this gentleman's life.
Even
What
Shehu
is
now,
it? How did you take him from Ikorodu? What was that? Is that driving force? Because it's not your
now
brother, it's
Shehu
not
too.
your uncle, it's not your
I took Shehu from Ibadan. Out
ah.
Ibadan. Yes, Shehu. You bring him back here now. He's in Canada. You bring him live.
You took
When the
somebody from Ikorodu to
yes,
America, another
yes, I
person
took
from Ibadan to
Akure.
Canada. Ah, Wilfred, be like saying, now only me, you never do anything for.
Okay.
I still there where you
Daddy,
leave
please,
me.
let me just give you an insight. Nothing makes me feel good to fly to San Antonio. This gentleman, Dr. Joe, I went to see his grandfather. At the time I was talking to him when he was 19, he was in his grandfather's house in Lagos. And he was skeptic if what he was doing on the computer was legit. He convinced him that I'm seeing this man. Oh, everything he's telling me is making sense. Progress was there. So everything gel made it to America. I spoke to the man because of how he spoke about this man. Me, God said, I fell in love with the grandpa. For this singular act that he decided to follow my guardians, he brought his grandfather, his mother, and his father to America. 3 of them at the same time.
Dr. Joseph.
Yes. And now, if you look at my page, you will see the videos now. You will see the pictures.
Wait. You see, they say every family that is doing
And that's
well
the first
today.
time they are going to enter a
That's
place.
the first time
Hold
they are going
on.
to fly a plane.
They said everybody, every family that you are seeing, the Rothschild, they was not always doing well.
Yes.
Now one person, now change
Now
the
one person.
narrative.
Yeah.
You have become that one person in your family that changed the narrative of your family.
Yes.
And it was done through this man called Wilfred.
Yes.
Wilfred, I'm proud to know you.
Yes, thank you. I have a lot of them like that. Trust me. Just one person. A lot of them
This
that
this
have
this,
changed their.
this particular one touched me because his father, grandfather,
Yes.
and mother.
They've never entered plane before. This is their first time. And in fact, the grandfather, whenever I saw him like this, all the 5 days I was there, my belly is sweet. I said, I'm glad I was part of this process. So you just need one person to change the narrative. One person just have to pay that price to change the narrative of the entire other person. Whenever I look at this, I remember, and the interesting thing is, when I tell Joseph something, he's not going to argue with me. He will just say, okay, Fred, he will go and do his homework. He will come back again. I say, Fred, this thing you're telling me, what? He will answer that questions. That's why I just love him. And then he will go ahead. Because me, I will explain it in the language he can understand. For example, the green card is from Nigeria. I started telling him about green card. The 6-figure, I started telling him. Now it's making sense to him. It makes a whole lot of sense to him. But when I was telling him, like he said, I never even finished the PhD. He's already telling me about this. Why should I hold the information? Is it my own? Is it my own? I came here to find it. I struggled to discover this thing. Why should I hold it back? Why? Now, you know Shehu now, Excel, the one in Canada. You will bring him like now. It is Dr. Joe who found me, and now he brought him. I said, Shehu, I found this guy. I need you to plug in here. He brought other people. Those ones had some awkward attitude. I dropped them by the side. Shehu plugged in. Now, Shehu was in Nigeria. He was bent on public health in graduate school. Why he was bent on, I said, you will be fine. Let's focus on how you will make money in Nigeria. I told you that Shehu will make $5,000 a month. He did not even want to come to America again. He got married. He born Peking. I still kept explaining to him why coming to do his graduate school and then we will take it off from there was important. The company that was paying him in dollars in Nigeria, still working for that company from Canada till date. He did not even want to go and work for the company. I forced him to go and do that job. When he comes, he will tell his story too. I also met him. He was down in one village in Nigeria from zero level. I've lost count of things that young man has also done for me. So when they call me Coach Fred, it is not by title. I'm not a motivational.
I just they enjoy the gist, they drink pepper soup, everything just they sweet my belly.
Yeah.
There's nothing
so that's
sweeter in this life than changing the trajectory of people's lives.
That it makes me feel so good that it frees. That's my strength. Like it makes me feel so good.
Now, this is another thing that I want to say. Not only did you change Dr. Joseph's life, you changed his grandfather's life. Grandfather, wait for don't log out, go. For life, you know, ever reach Yankee, don't come Yankee before.
His friend, one of his friends, 24 years. That is grandfather, right? So he found out that his grandfather was in America. The guy was shocked. He couldn't believe it. The guy had to fly in. Just hearing the news. Baba, you are in America. The guy showed up. He was surprised. He asked him, how did you get here? He said, my grandson brought me. I don't understand. I just see the smile on his face. I said, Daddy, you have 30 more years to live. He's already 78, I'll be 79. So I said, Daddy, he was in the graduation, he was in the conferment of the PhD title, and I could just see, grandpa, they look past any other person. I said, yes, this is what gives me fulfillment. One singular person brought all this joy to everybody. The same thing with Yewande. If you see her children always like, Coach Fred, have you called Coach Fred? Have you called Coach Fred? Those kids now, they have forgotten that they ever suffered before. They forgot that they ever suffered before. So, Daddy Freeze, I feel so honored to have them here, and
I feel honored.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop.
See the way everybody's mesmerized.
Oh well,
that one person can uplift people like this.
Now, if we had to fall for the scam name that they called us, we will not be here now. So we were holding on down that the time will come when things will change. And this is why I always said, before you come to me, know what you want. Before you come to me, if you know you are born again, my services is not for you. Because the kind of things I will ask you to do will go against some of your religious beliefs that are obsolete. It's not working. I'm not asking you to steal. It is just the industry norms, industry standard. It is the wisdom that is ideal. Even as Joseph Day years so now pastor for your fellowship for school. When he come and say, Joe, I beg, keep this one fast. Let's use brain first. Let's get to work. And he respected that. When I need to tell him to do something, he ain't got no choice. If we do this, this is the result. Mine is to explain to you and present it in the language you can understand. He's my kid brother.
Hold on,
Why would I hold
Fred? Sorry to cut you. Neoma Canada said she wants this for her brother. Neoma, you can go to www.zeedworldwide.com. Zeed is spelled Z-E-E-D. That is www.zeedworldwide.com. Or send a WhatsApp message to +1 860 634 8336. I'll give you that number one more time. Please go get a pen and a paper. Take this number down or just screenshot if you're watching on Instagram. +1 860 634 8336. Take that number again. +1 860 634 8336. Over to you, Wilfred.
Okay, thank you so much. So for those of you that you reach out to me ever since that we shared my page, my post on his page, a lot of you reached out to me. And listen, I'm not sentimental. I build people. I do not build. I don't do things for money. Instead, you get the way you do self. Now me go put my money on top of you because you know get how much I want to come up for this life, and I can't focus more than building people. Because if people gave me opportunity that I wanted, I probably would have been doing far better than now. But people still gave me opportunity regardless. People gave me opportunity. So with all the things I've learned in America, why shouldn't I transfer that knowledge? When people come to my community, they don't leave. Daddy Freeze, currently my business analysis class, I have a former senator, House of Assembly member in my class. When I see doctors,
You told me the other day, I almost could not believe it.
Yes, he's in my class currently. If I call his name, he's probably a name that you are familiar with. You know, I was humbled when I found out. He said, no, Fred, as of yesterday, he told me, Fred, I am sending my nephew to you. I said, you're honorable. You have not even finished the program. He said, Fred, what I'm finding here is too irresistible not to send a young person to you to undergo. I said, but you know, say my mouth no good. And I know they play hanky or shortcut. I will tell you straight up to the face. You want it? Not lie. Share my mouth. Why are you laughing? Tell the audience. Oh, good.
Actually, Fred is disciplinary. He's very strict, and when he tells you something,
Me, I will not say strict. I was just say straight to the point. No, in
No
Nigerians,
beating around
we
the
like
bush.
to talk under the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Talk straight, talk truth. We go give you
he said
solution. They know go come.
things exactly the way.
Exactly.
Yes. If I will tell this audience one of the things I told Joe. So when Joe first came here, one of the first things I told him, he couldn't believe it. I said, Joe, you know, now that you have finished bachelor's, you are coming to do masters now. You're coming to do masters. And anything that you ignore, it will wait for you in front. So you had gotten your first degree. Now you're coming for your master's and PhD, and you cannot spend 100% to read only book. There are other things I need you to explore. One of it is that you need to have a girlfriend. Oh yes, Joe, I like.
You tell pastor to make you get girlfriend.
I tell you,
You are not a nice guy.
he first looked me say, Fred. I said yes. I said, is that too much? He said no. He asked me why. I explained to him. Now everybody's I meet, their cases are peculiar. So based on what you tell me, I'll be able to figure out what I'm going to tell you. I explained to him in a language that he needed to understand. He's here. After you decided to follow my guide, did he pay off?
He did.
People
He
like
did.
us, they don't
So
need to explain that one to us. Just say get a girlfriend.
No, Daddy Freeze. Everyone has some dynamics, so it actually paid off. All right, Daddy Freeze. Okay,